Do you listen to your audience, Sloan? I know you listen to them when they're sending you all those packages in your P.O. box.
But I have a feeling that Jim knew exactly what he was doing and that she was capable of taking her own life over this breakup. It's like he almost set her up to do so. TMZ just posts everything and anything, which is good and bad at the same time because they just post whatever they're told. But at the same time, like, it's not always factual. So TMZ needs to double check when it comes to those sources.
Aren't you claiming TMZ is doing the exact thing that you're doing in this exact video? Oh, Sloan. I have never watched a video so quickly and been like, oh my God, this is not okay. I can't say that. I probably have, but this video by Sloan, the mysterious death of Jim Carrey's girlfriend, it has me rubbed all types of ways. I don't want this video to come off hateful because I have watched Sloan for many, many years. He's so big now, like almost 2 million subscribers at this point. I mean, he's only been on YouTube for like 2 years, right? Maybe now. But even though I don't always agree with Sloan, I do enjoy his content. I do watch it. And I do watch a lot of people where I don't 100% always agree with their content. I like to hear other people's point of views, other people's opinions, and I love commentary content. So with that being said, I also want to say these are my opinions. He has not taken the video down since I wrote my script and watched this video. So you can go watch it for yourself. I'll link it in the description box. You can let me know what you think. So I was doing my makeup as I do yesterday. I meant to film this yesterday. And when I film my makeup sometimes, when I do my makeup sometimes, most of the time, I like to sit and watch YouTube content. By the way, I'm using this little microphone. Hopefully the audio is okay. Let me know in the comments down below if it sounds okay or if you like it without this little thing. So I'm sitting there doing my makeup, doing my thing, chicken wing, and I literally recorded a clip where I was like listening, doing my makeup, and I was like, oh my God, what is this garbage? What is this garbage? It sucks because I was super excited for this Jim Carrey video because like last week, I think it was, maybe a few days ago, he put out a video on Jim Carrey that I actually did like. And I mean, I am not someone who like idolizes actors, singers, celebrities, anything like that. Like I obviously have people that I like, but I'm not like a diehard fan. I do like Jim Carrey. I mean, I like some of the movies he's been in and things like that. But I'm not like a diehard Jim Carrey stan, right? So the first video on Jim Carrey talked about like his weird behavior with like Alicia Silverstone and things of that nature. So with this video, I was like, oh, maybe Sloan is just going to talk about Jim Carrey's girlfriend's death. It was weird and suspicious because she, you know, trigger warning, by the way. This video could get kind of for some people, but she had, you know, she's not here no more by her own hands. Let me just say that. Let's just get into this. I've rambled enough. In the video, Sloan obviously goes into detail about Jim Carrey's girlfriend and how Jim Carrey's girlfriend, you know, took her life, how she did it, which first of all, y'all know how I feel about stuff in regards to like bringing up people's deaths. It's hard for the family to relive it, things of that nature. But even taking and putting that aside, Sloan literally accuses Jim Carrey of having something to do with his girlfriend's death at the time. He says, in my opinion, but the issue that I have with Sloan, and I've had in the past with him, as much as I like his personality, I think he's really good on camera, he tends to make a lot of his videos sound factual. He doesn't really use allegedly a whole lot. People take his content and run with it. He's accused multiple people of really harmful, dangerous things. You know, he's been threatened to be sued before, but that still has not stopped him. He has not shifted his content in a way that does not make it come off factual without accusing people of horrendous things without any proof. It is all hearsay. It is all either for views, which, you know, that's what we do for a living. We want views, obviously, right? But like, it's a whole other ball game when you're accusing people of really serious things like Jim Carrey taking his girlfriend's life or having something to do with it just because he was prescribed pain medication under an alias, which he says alias, which was really funny. People in the comments were like, it's alias. I don't think that really matters.
Let's talk a little bit about their relationship and why I personally believe that Jim Carrey is at fault for her death. First off, the drugs that she used to were pills that Jim Carrey was originally prescribed, but he was prescribed them under another name. It also turns out that Jim provided these to Catriona on September 21st, 2015, just days before she on them. It turns out that Catriona did indeed on the Jim Carrey provided her, which included some Ambien, which is like a sleep medicine, a ton of Percocet, prescription drugs that she should have never had access to.
Something that I wanted to add to this is that in a lot of clips in Sloan's video, he acts like Jim was there when she took her life, when he wasn't there. And just because there were substances in the house, it doesn't mean that Jim forced her to take anything. And if those substances weren't there, how do we know that she wouldn't have went out and found another way to consume something or taken her life in a different way, if that makes sense?
Catriona's family lawyer wrote that this case is about Jim Carrey using his immense wealth and celebrity status to illegally obtain and distribute highly addictive and, in this case, deadly controlled substances. After obtaining these illegally under a bogus name.
He said that because Jim Carrey was getting a prescription of medication and giving it to his girlfriend, when she took the amount of medication that she did to not be here anymore, even though Jim Carrey wasn't there, somehow that was Jim Carrey's fault.
Let's talk about what led Catriona to taking her own life, because again, part of this is Jim's fault. Jim had his assistant go and check the cameras to check up on what Catriona's been up to. They see that she entered the home on September 24th, and then she never left. So that's a pretty telling sign that there's something wrong here if she's just like locked up in the home and hasn't left for food or ordered food or groceries or running errands or just been seen alive.
It's also the wording that Sloan uses in this video as well, and in several videos of his, like locked up. Like she was locked up. No, she was there by herself. She wasn't forced there. The house was not locked down with her in there. And he does that quite a few times throughout this video, where he uses these like words to make it seem like she was held there against her will or forced medication against her will, when that was not the case at all.
One day earlier text message police uncovered on Catriona's phone. They found that Jim actually texted her and asked her, "Where are the painkillers that I left under the sink?" Those 3 pill bottles that he was referring to in that text message were the same pill bottles found at the scene that ultimately killed Catriona.
And even here with the text message, he makes it out like Jim knew that she had taken her life and that he was just trying to cover his butt by sending that text message, when I believe that Jim probably had a bad gut instinct, which I've had myself with somebody that was my partner that passed away from an OD, where you just get this really bad gut instinct, and that's why he made the text, because he wouldn't have known. How do you go from saying that she was home alone for 5 days, they checked surveillance, couldn't see her, but yet Jim somehow knew without being there that she had taken that medication? You see what I'm saying? Like, how would he plant that text or send that text to cover his butt? It just doesn't add up, Sloan.
When Jim sent that text message to Catriona, I believe at this point he knew that she took her own life and he was now trying to orchestrate some type of cover-up. Catriona's family lawyer wrote, "On information and belief, after Catriona took her life, and in an effort to cover up his conduct in her death, Jim Carrey sent a bogus text message on September 27th, 2015 to Catriona, who was already dead, pretending as though he had misplaced the that she took her own life, when in reality Jim Carrey fully knew that he had voluntarily and illegally provided these drugs to Catriona, which ultimately killed her."
And then also he was saying how Jim Carrey had to have known that breaking up with his girlfriend at the time would have caused her to not be here anymore.
Catriona told her friend Denise Bradshaw that her relationship with Jim Carrey was a roller coaster. She was madly in love with him, but she grew depressed whenever she felt him slipping away. Jim broke up with her on September 24th, 2015, just days before she passed away, or at least when her body was found. And she was really going through it during this breakup. Like, she did not know how to handle. But as I was doing research on this story, I found an interesting pattern that Jim does everything in his power to make himself look good. At every corner, he just switches the narrative to try to make it seem like he's not at fault here. Jim Carrey told TMZ on September 19th that they went to a birthday dinner at Nobu in Malibu and that she was super happy then. But then he ended up breaking up with her a few days later on September 24th. But he told TMZ, and again, this is him trying to switch up the narrative, that he wasn't going to completely break up with her. He didn't want to sever the relationship completely. He just kind of needed a break. So he's trying to soften the blow and make it seem like he didn't just go and break up with her like a cold-hearted bastard. But I have a feeling that Jim knew exactly what he was doing and that she was capable of taking her own life over this breakup. It's like he almost set her up to do so.
I have so many problems with that, so let's break this down really quickly. As someone with substance abuse disorder myself, who just celebrated a year off of maintenance medication, almost 5 years of sobriety. People with substance abuse disorder are very manipulative. If they want to use, they're going to use. And honestly, I know I'll probably get a lot of hate for this. I would rather somebody use prescription medication, even if it's not in the most healthy way, than go to the streets, to be honest. It's not like he forced her to take the medication. She also had struggled, and it's noted, she had struggled with lying before. She had struggled with mental health issues before. You cannot say that somebody breaking up with somebody is the reason why, and they knew that that person was going to end their life because of it. I just feel like you cannot say that. I am someone who has suffered from survivor's guilt. I've been accused of murder before because somebody passed away because of illicit substances that they took. I didn't even have anything to do with it, but somehow my name got dragged through the mud with it because I hung out with them. I've been accused of those things before. That doesn't go away. And Sloan is putting this on the internet. The internet is forever. You cannot accuse somebody of doing that. It's not like she took the medication with Jim Carrey there. He saw the state and the condition that she was in, and then he took off and left her and didn't call for help or anything like that. How can you blame Jim Carrey for that? I feel really bad that she took her life, and, the family sued him, I guess, allegedly for wrongful death. But at the end of the day, it's not his fault. In my opinion, anyways. As someone who has lived that lifestyle, and someone who struggles with mental health issues, struggles with substance abuse disorder, I would manipulate to get people to get the things that I needed to not be sick anymore. I would tell people and threaten to end my, if they didn't stay with me, if they left me. I've been with people who have done that to me. You can't put that on the other person. You can't put that on Jim Carrey. I just don't feel like you can. And I feel like I'm not alone in feeling this way. I went into his comments, and so many people were talking about this as well, saying that, you can't do that, you can't blame him. They were sharing their own experiences with their substance abuse disorder, using illicit substances, things of that nature. You can't blame him for that. And then Sloan tries to paint Jim Carrey, in my opinion, Sloan is very biased in this video, and we're all biased. We're all biased in some way, shape, or form, right? We are. That's the point blank period. As humans, we're humans, right? So we are all biased one way or another. But I feel like in this video, Sloan was very biased, and he was trying to paint everything a certain way, to fit his narrative. It came off very factual, not entertainment or opinions or anything like that. And it just seemed like he was trying to convince people that Jim Carrey was involved or had something to do or was at fault for this woman's sad passing. I just don't think that's right, y'all. And then he tried to say that Jim Carrey was a liar for not doing this, or he was trying to look like the nice guy. Sloan, I will tell you, there is nothing worse of a feeling than somebody that you love deeply with all of your being, all of your heart, struggling with substance abuse disorder, them passing away and you feeling like you could have stopped it. That survivor's guilt is a feeling that, unless you've gone through it, you will never understand. So I don't think Jim Carrey was trying to be the nice guy. I think that he probably had and has a lot of regret, a lot of grief, a lot of survivor's guilt, a lot of shame. And again, I'm not a Jim Carrey end-all be-all fan. I do think there's a lot of shady shit that he's done. I think Hollywood in general is shady. But this for me is not it. Like, it's not it. It's not it. It just blows my mind that he thinks that this is good. I'm surprised he hasn't taken it down. I even commented under the video. I was like, I don't know about this one, Sloan. Even reading the comments, like, not even sorting them. Coming from someone who is S, blaming someone else for this is absolutely unfair. It is a personal choice at the end of the day. Agreed. The narrative of blaming another for one's S is really dangerous. I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship, but I do mine. I was going to share, but it's too emotional. It's hard sometimes to take my own advice, but everyone remember, you are not responsible for anyone's actions but your own. Absolutely. You are not at fault for someone else's choices. It is difficult not to blame yourself when a loved one takes their life. Survivor's guilt, I guess. Exactly. This comment is exactly what I'm trying to say right now. I get what Sloan is saying. I don't get what Sloan is saying at all. Jim is a dick and awful to her. Was a dick and awful to her. He might have been. And I'm not saying that Jim was great to her. I have no idea. Only they know that. But I do know what it is like being somebody with substance abuse disorder and being with somebody that does not struggle with that. And how manipulative you are, how the other person who loves you will enable you because they don't want to see you hurt, things of that nature. The commenter goes on to say, just be careful with this touchy subject, as many are struggling to cope with losing a loved one to S and or addiction. I would say substance abuse disorder, but of course he's only talking about Jim, but it's kind of like how we don't make fun of people's looks even if we don't like them, because someone watching might have those same features and feel bad about themselves. Hope that analogy makes sense. I think you did great, Crimson. That comment I love. But yeah, if you go through the comments, a lot of people feel this way, but then the other people are like, oh yeah, like he definitely had something to do with it. Like this video opened my eyes. To me, that is scary. That is scary, those people that think that. Again, the internet is forever. It has 113,000 views, 5.4 likes, and 1,183 comments. And I don't know. Am I overreacting, y'all? Am I overreacting? Please let me know what you think. I was going to have Kyle watch it to like give me a second opinion, but he loves Jim Carrey, so he would have been super, super biased. I don't know. And this isn't the first video that I've seen from Sloan where I've been slightly concerned because of the content and the context behind the video and what he's saying, what he's alleging. There are so many things that he has accused people of, celebrities of, YouTubers of. Again, it's very scary in my opinion. And I know that like he hangs out with Rich Lux and Adam and things of that nature. So I don't know if it's just like a for views kind of thing or just entertainment maybe. But at the end of the day, I know they're celebrities, but it's not just celebrities he's talked about in these kinds of ways. But at the end of the day, like I understand the people that he talks about are public figures, but this is also people's real lives. I don't understand why people don't get this. To call people these words where you don't have any, like James Charles, we know that he is someone who fancies young people. We know that. Like that has been proven. This is not proof. This video is not proof, in my opinion, that Jim Carrey had anything to do with that. And again, this is not the first time that Sloan has done this or accused somebody of being the P word or this or that. Can someone have sketchy behavior to where we call it out? Yes. We can say tendencies, but you can't just straight up call somebody, a murderer or a P word or what have you, or allude to it. I will never understand people that make this fucking content. And I know I've fallen into the trap before. because it's easy to get sucked up in. I don't understand how people make this type of content all the time either for their mental health. I really don't. Most of them come on and say their mental health isn't good, and I'm like, well, I wonder why your mental health isn't good. You make content about all these really sad things all the time. I would not feel very good either. Time out. There's going to be some content coming. I want to start making some content here and there, like peppered in, of maybe like my favorite videos, which I've always kind of done that. I've also talked about not just like weird shit on the internet, but also, you know, I've talked about good things, like when Taylor Nicole Dean came back with her sobriety. You know, we talked about that, the little Wayne mental health thingy-majiggy. We've talked about that. We talked about when Digital Princess got the help that she needed with her child and resources. So it's not that I always talk about negative things. I try not to, because no one wants to be in that mindset. But some people just really, I don't know how they can make that content all the time. But either way, I will probably still continue to watch Sloan, but I've given him, as a viewer, don't even think about me being a content creator. As a viewer myself, I have given Sloan so many chances, I feel like, where it's been red flag, red flag, red flag, to the point where, like, I did that with Creepshow Art too. Before everybody knew who Creepshow Art truly was, I started picking up on the red flags of it, which is why I made my huge Creepshow Art video. You know, a lot of the videos that I've made that are deep dives start from me watching people and then just seeing really crazy things start to happen, and then me just chance after chance after chance as a viewer, to where I'm like, okay, no, I can't do this anymore. They need to be held accountable. They need to see where maybe it's just not, you know, like the ego has taken over kind of vibes. And I want anybody to check me. If anyone ever feels like I am being like that, I said that from the beginning in my community, please check me. If you feel like my ego is taking over, I want you to hold me accountable. And it's not so much about agreeing with people, because I love a discussion and disagreeing with people. It's not so much about that. It's just like ethics, morals, again, accusing people of really nasty things. Same thing happened with me with Without a Crystal Ball, Dad Challenge Podcast. I haven't made a video on Dad Challenge Podcast, but I tell you, I knew he was junk, like, probably a year after, not even a year after he started going, you know, getting really big. I just stopped watching him because his misogyny came through, but I never made a video on him. I thought about it, but there's just so much there. I don't know how people keep up with him, but I've been really removed from the commentary community as well, so that makes it kind of hard as well. But anyways, I'm rambling at this point. Let me know what you guys think. Definitely check out Sloan's video. I'm surprised he hasn't taken it down. If he listened to his audience, F the other people sending him cease and desist and threatening to sue him. If he listened to his audience, he would see that this video is not right. Do you listen to your audience, Sloan? I know you listen to them when they're sending you all those packages in your P.O. box, but do you listen to them when they're telling you, hey, this ain't it? But then you do take it down if you get a cease and desist. So you care more about what the people that you're making your videos on think than your actual audience. Is that what it is? I don't know. I can only speculate. And tell you what it looks like from an outsider looking in. Again, scratch the fact that I'm a commentary channel. As a viewer, that's how I see it. But I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye!